is Reason to Talk with Chris Reason. This is a Reason to Talk with Chris Reason. I'm here with my special guest, Zach Scheller.
Hey, how's it going?
Today we are talking about rock and metal music, some music that recently has been released, and some suggestions we just want to make for you guys out there to see if you can get some interesting other songs you have not heard. Before we get into that, let's hear from today's sponsor. Do you need that boost of energy? Are you going to the gym, trying to wake up for work, or even trying to get some serious hours of gaming done? Well, I have your answer. That's W Energy. Get your Jittles fixed of Energy Boost, the Galaxy Grenade, and multiple other flavors. Use the promo code CRN10 to get 10% off your order today. Visit w.gg/discount/CRN10. That's DUBBY.gg/discount/CRN10. Now, there's some newer music that's been coming out. I want to take a little gander out that's been recent here. Some maybe a month, but this year for the most part so far. The first one I want to talk about is the band Treat. You have an 80s era type of hard rock and glam metal. They have released 2 new singles that's going to be on their new album. I highly recommend them. Home of the Brave and Carolina Reaper. Now, Home of the Brave is a little bit of a slower start in the calmer side of rock music here. But it is a great mix of glam and power metal of that subgenre. Carolina Reaper is also a great song as well, mixture of both hard rock and glam. Fozzy, the hard rock band with the frontman of Chris Jericho, if you are not aware of who this band is, they just released a new single called I Still Burn. It starts off with a slow start, but it builds to a great song. This is a tad heavier than the previous band that was mentioned. If you want to check out some other songs that I recommend highly by them to give them a good listen to, check out Judas, Enemy, Wanderlust, featuring Zakk Wylde, Enemy, Sandpaper, and much more.
So, Cold Blood by Health and Lamb of God. If you're just a fan of Lamb of God, just metal in general, I highly recommend the single. Groovy riffs, parts in the song, but it picks up with a kick your ass back down to the ground.
They also have 3 other songs featured on the single, or EP, where you want to do it. And they all feature different artists, such as Poppy, Ecstasy, and 9 Inch Nails. Their single, Still Breathing by Health, is out now. Bloodywood. If you're interested in rap, metal, and a mixture of folk music, I definitely believe you need to check out this great band from India. They mix metal, rap, gent, and Indian folk music together. With the mix lyrics both in English the mix of the lyrics both in English and Punjabi, they are just fantastic. They had just released their first full-length album this year, and it slaps. If you're in the mood of some great rap and great metal, definitely check out Bloodywood. Ghost just released their new album, Impera. Sorry if I butchered that name. There are a few songs on their album that I love, that being called Call Me Little Sunshine, Watching the Sky, and a few other ones. Overall, the album, in my opinion, isn't as good as their previous ones, but still a fantastic album. Sabaton with the Unkillable Soldier, Stormtroopers, and Soldier of Heaven are fantastic new songs from Sabaton that will melt your mind. This power metal band has the great powerful vocals in all of these songs that are a definite recommendation.
Okay, so let's talk about some music that was just recommended, recently released, and well, here are some of my recommendations. Crazy Licks. So there are 2 songs I highly recommend that are my personal favorites: "Girls of the '80s" and "Wild Child." So "Wild Child", that is not the cover. It's not a cover song. It's not Wasp. It's not the Wasp original version. It's not a cover by any means. It's their version.
Would you describe them as like heavy or just more of like just a rock?
More just a rock glam.
Okay. I know I took a gander before, or listened to Girls of the '80s with you before. It was really good. Mm-hmm. Trivium, Heart From Your Hate. It's not a newer song, but I just want to say the vocals and just the ability to sing along with that song is just completely fantastic. They have a couple other songs I recommend as well. Otherwise, take a look at some other ones here. In This Moment, Black Wedding, featuring Rob Halford of Judas Priest fame. It's a reimagining of Billy Idol's White Wedding, featuring Rob Halford. This is the dark side of Billy Idol, to an extent, the dark side of the Force. Still a heavy song and rocks hard, but a different take on the song. I don't know if you call it a reimagining, a cover, or what. Cannibal Corpse. I believe this is your side of the genre. I like a lot of death metal, but I know this is one of your favorite bands, so I'll take it over.
Yes, very. So, their newest album, Violent Unimaginable. So, their first 3 songs really, really slam. Like, I love the brutality in this album. Well, they're every new album they come out with, they always want to do, we want to try to be as brutal and as bad as we can, like. So, Murderous Rampage.
Something to destroy your face.
Pretty much. And your ears. So Murderous Rampage. Necrogenic. Yeah, Necrogenic Resurrection. And Inhumane Harvest. 3 awesome songs. I know their 2 music videos are extremely brutal. The Necro and the Inhumane. Well, that's really all I have to say on that. So, highly recommended if you're into death metal.
I know that's a staple of death metal as well, with Cannibal Corpse. That being said, future episodes we'll do some other recommendations out there and some other topics that you guys want us to check out and give us a whole review of them. That being said, this next section, we're just going to go over our top 5 favorite bands. Some of them you're going to laugh at us. Some you're going to be like, okay, that's just stereotypical of us trying to pretend we like metal. At least for my opinion on my side. But I'm going to start off with my number 5. Is going to be the band that I recommended in the beginning with their 2 new singles of Home of the Brave and Carolina Reaper. That is the band Treat. If you like that 80s glam, pop metal, or hard rock style of music, I definitely tell you right now, go take a listen to this great band. Songs like Roar and Ghosts of Graceland are 2 of my favorite songs by them. Harem Scarum, my next favorite band, number 4 on my list. I saw them in the good old land of Canada. That's Canada for you guys, for the inside joke between here at Chris Region Network. They are a great freaking band. They released a couple new albums not that long ago. I definitely recommend my favorite song by them, which got me into listening to them, is No Justice. I think I might have shown you that song like back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Now, my top 3, we just hit number 3 here. My favorite, third favorite band, or number 3, I should say, in the top 5, is Slipknot. I know you like a couple of their songs a lot. And whatnot. Corey Taylor has great range in the vocals of both there and Stone Sour, but Slipknot is my better of the 2, in my opinion, for the music stylings that I like, both with the newer versions of All Out Life, and then we go, wow, I couldn't remember the heck what other songs I was just listening to. But other than that, you got some older stuff like Wait and Bleed, and you have the Iowa album, and a Welcome, and a whole bunch of other stuff, 3-0. Those are great, great songs. Now, my second favorite band, or my number 2 in my top 5, it's technically a super group known as WET. Stands for Work of Art, Eclipse, and Talisman. Lead singer of the group, Jeff Scott Soto of Talisman fame, is also in a whole bunch of many other projects, such as he sings with the holiday awesome group of Trans-Siberian Orchestra during the holidays. I saw some of that stuff of what he's done. I haven't seen it live, but I want to. He's the lead singer of the progressive metal band, I guess you could call it, of Sons of Apollo. Little styling of also what I'm trying to think of. If you guys listen to Dream Theater, a little bit similar styles. But you got him on the front as a front man. You also have Ron Bumblefoot Thal. God, I can't remember the bass guitarist and the keyboardist, but the drummer is Mike Portnoy. And I know Mike Portnoy was Dream Theater fame at first and done a whole bunch of more work besides that. He was on Avenged Sevenfold's, I believe, the album with Nightmare on it for a couple of drums right after the Rev died, to help him out and just do some of the songs there. And now the one I was talking about, which is my favorite band of all time, You guys are gonna hilariously. But before I get to that, I want to say one song for Wet. Good God, there's way too many. Brothers in Arms, a whole bunch of other stuff I can't even think about. There's a lot. Let Go. They're all great, especially if you like that hard rock '80s stylings with not so much of a deep growl vocal. Now, my favorite band, my top one, is going to be Five Finger Death Punch, mainly for the fact that was the first band I've really listened to into metal, getting into metal and hard rock music. I know a lot of you out there are going to laugh at me, and they're pretty much, what's the way I put it, the metal version of Nickelback, I guess. Someone I once heard. Everybody hates them, but there's people that love them. But that's what they're doing. They're making money. They're making albums. I think there's only 2 original members left of the frontman, Ivan Moody, and their rhythm/lead, I think he switches, of Zoltan Bathory. I'm sorry if I butchered his name. Technically, Zoltan is the founding member, so he's the only original founding member left in the band. They've done a lot of albums over the years. I think they're almost on 9 or 10, one or the other, albums. Definitely recommend, especially if you're trying to get out into metal and hard rock. The first song and the first single, probably their best song of all time, is probably The Bleeding, and I definitely give that a recommend. They have a whole bunch of other ones, and they've done a lot of songs featuring other artists, but definitely give them a chance. Zach, would you like to do your top 5, starting with number 5?
Yes, absolutely. So my number 5, but really my number 1, Lamb of God. They're the guys that actually got me into metal. I say this all the time. I was 9 years old, turned on 90.1 JJO, and their Ashes of the Wake album just came out, and they would play Laid to Rest, and that was pretty much it. Ever since then, listening to metal, ever since then, always a huge fan, and I was lucky to see them about 4 years ago at the rave. Unfortunately, Chris Adler was not there. He had shoulder surgery at the time, and he was recuperating from that. But other than that, I saw all the original members for that, and that was great show. Testament, Napalm Death, and Anthrax, I believe, opened up for them, and that was a phenomenal show.
I think out of all those bands, the Anthrax is probably my least favorite.
Oh, yeah.
I love a couple songs, but called it a mosh. Freaking Indians. Holy shit. What's the third song by Anthrax?
Madhouse.
Thank you.
Yep.
I was like, what was the third song I liked? Even though they're technically, weren't they in the top 3 at first?
I believe so, yes.
Because it was Anthrax, Metallica, and Megadeth, I believe. But Anthrax is the bottom 3, in my opinion. I know there's a lot of fans out there that are going to hate on that, but that's just my opinion. To each your own, I guess.
Yeah. So they're always a go-to band. They will always be a go-to band for me. And then my number 2 spot will be Slayer. Favorite thrash metal band. Always will be my favorite thrash metal band.
I could have swore that was your favorite band for a while, because I know I've been jamming to them with you a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I just know especially when we were in high school, there was a lot of bands, or a lot of the music you were listening to.
Mm-hmm. Love the thrash, love the brutality. Well, more aggressive, honestly. More aggressiveness.
Did they start off more on thrash?
Yeah, they always been thrash.
I mean, it's still badass. It's fucking metal.
Yeah.
Opening the pits of hell in the middle of a concert and just the light beams up.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. So their most popular album, Rain and Blood, obviously got Angel of Death opening up that album. Phenomenal song. And his high-pitched scream.
Oh, God, yes. I think, to be honest with you, my top 2 favorites, and I'm going to be the poser here that I am, are literally Angel of Death and, of course, Raining Blood.
Raining Blood, yep. The speed and aggressiveness in those 2 songs. Can't beat that, I don't think. For thrash, anyways.
I felt like, what was that, Guitar Hero 3 that was it in? I want to say, Raining Blood?
I
think it was towards the end.
Yeah.
I know if it wasn't for that game, a lot of other people would have heard that song either. Because there's a lot of people that didn't listen to metal that that fucking found out about that. And now that's the one song they fucking recognize by Slayer when they don't listen to metal at all. I fucking know that song. I'm like, are you sure?
Right.
You just weren't playing Guitar Hero?
Yeah. So then my number 3 metal band would be Suffocation. Another huge death metal band I love. Their guitar riffs are extremely heavy. Their bass, their the drums. Frank Mullen, the original lead singer, well, unfortunately, he's not with the band anymore. He's been 3 or 4 years now since he quit. They're actually coming to Madison May 30th, so I'm looking forward to that show. Going to be going to that show. There's like 4 bands that are opening up for them I never heard of, so I'm actually kind of looking forward to that. It's all death metal, so...
I feel like that's half the concerts I go to. I just know the headliner half the time, but I still want to go see the other people. Like, who the fuck band am I going to go see? Excuse me. 24th Dragon Force. There's like 4 bands I've never fucking heard of.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I'm not going to make that one, but... So yeah, Suffocation. My favorite 2 albums from them are, sorry if I pronounced this wrong. Effigy of the Forgotten.
Effigy
of the Forgotten. That was their their second album they did. Then Pierced from Within, which in my opinion is their heaviest album, with heavy riffs and just sounds awesome. My favorite song off Pierced from Within is probably Thrones of Blood. Now, if you're interested in something really heavy and just something that just sounds really into the real heavy, like...
Get the shit in the mosh pit, get your head banging, get your face melting.
Yep, that type of shit. Definitely recommend that. Definitely recommend that album off from Suffocation. In my opinion, like I said, I think that's their heaviest album. So then my number...
I think you're at 4.
Yeah, number 4 spot would be After the Burial. Saw them 3 times. Every time I've seen them, they get better every time. And their latest album, Evergreen, I believe. Influx, that's like probably their best song on that album. I love their breakdowns. All their albums have really, really good breakdowns. I've never been disappointed. Even at their live shows, they always get everyone moving. And I love that. I love that with a band. They get the whole room moving, and
I feel like it's not worth a concert, even if that. It's just like, what are you just going to stand there the whole time?
No, right.
Well, like, I've been to concerts where I'm like, why the fuck am I here?
No, yeah.
And it's usually the opening band. Like, good God, who the fuck? What was the lineup for that day? I think, it was Rain, Hatebreed, All That Remains, and Five Finger Death Punch.
Yeah.
Fucking, who the fuck is Rain? Out of all those bands, like, Hatebreed is probably the heaviest. Yeah. Well, actually, Hatebreed is the fucking heaviest.
Right.
But, like, Rain, I just felt like you thought somebody was going to go for a scream or a breakdown, and nothing fucking happened.
No.
I just stood there flipping them off the whole time. Like, do you guys not know how to get with fucking concert? How to get the crowd moving? How to get the crowd going? You're opening the fucking show. You're supposed to be able to get the people ready for the main event.
Yeah.
Clearly, they didn't do that.
No, they didn't.
I mean, Hatebreed did a phenomenal job. All That Remains was great. And then Five Finger Death Punch, which is ironic because I feel like Five Finger Death Punch is the fucking least heaviest out of all those bands except for Rain. Like, Rain was the worst.
Yeah.
But also, like, holy shit, Rain did not know how to fucking open a show for them.
No.
Especially with Hatebreed following them. Fucking, in my opinion, for that show, Rain wasn't even there.
Yeah, there's been a couple of shows where the opener, it's like, who the fuck are you? Like, no.
I think it's happened to me a couple times, like especially whenever I go to Summerfest and then Lazarus AD just randomly opens the show. Yeah. Both times it's happened to me, and literally they've had technical problems every time.
Oh my god!
The first show I don't remember. The second show, I think one of their fucking like amps came unplugged, and it was like what? Like it was literally just doing that the whole time, and you're like, what the fuck is happening?
No, right. All right, and then my number 5 spot would be Cannibal Corpse, another favorite death metal band. Like I just said earlier, their new album fucking slams. Want something to fucking bang your head and just go fucking nuts.
I know what you were saying before about like fucking Cannibal Corpse being brutal, and then one of the I forgot who you were, Alex Weber. Is that what you were mentioning?
Yeah, Alex
before?
Weber.
Yeah, mentioning about like how we're always trying to get brutal. Dude, when do they not?
Yeah.
Like, you can get more and more brutal, I feel like, with them, and it just fucking kicks ass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, their lyrics are just...
Some of the lyrics are fucking hilarious, but it's still fucking badass. Like, for instance, I Come Blood.
Yep, I Come Blood.
Fucking sounds painful as shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... Yeah, those lyrics are fucked, but... But, yeah, So yeah, that's really all I got for.
I was gonna
mine.
say, dude, if you're going to the death metal and all that shit, Cannibal Corpse is a staple. Thrash metal, you got Slayer.
Mm-hmm.
After the Barrel's in between.
Yep.
Sort of with the thrash, but more the death metal in my opinion.
More deathcore.
Deathcore.
Yeah.
So many subgenres of fucking music.
Yeah.
Anyways, for the other sponsorship for today, are you a fan of poetry? All kinds of poetry, such as dark, down to earth, and relatable. Then come out, check out my new book, Nostalgic Memories, a book of dreams and nightmares as poems. Out now, available on Amazon Kindle for $9.99, free if you have the unlimited, I believe, or the paperback version of the book for $14.99. Get your copy today. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of A Reason to Talk with Chris Reason. We'll be discussing more episodes, video games, movies, music, and much more. Hell, we might even, the next music one, just bash a whole bunch of people that are in the fucking music industry that are just making fools of themselves. Who knows? I want to thank Zach Scheller for being my guest today, and I hope you can come back for another episode.
Oh, absolutely. Happy to be here.
In other words, follow us on all Twitter, media, YouTube for Chris Reason Network, and you can find more awesome content of reviews, gameplays, and a whole bunch of other stuff. Have a great day. Keep on listening. This is Reason to Talk with Chris Reason.